Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome to a brand new team builder Dynasty. We are gonna set up the New York State Skyliners here in College Football 26. And first of all, we are gonna go through the rules that I have set up for this rebuild. The first thing is gonna be, to whoever's seen already my Nebraska Dynasty, it's gonna be the same set. So we're gonna do normal Coach XP. I think in this game, Coach XP has been set up pretty well. It's gonna take a long time to fill out all the recruiting levels, or like the coach levels, I mean. So we're gonna do normal Coach XP. Then we are going to be doing a random progression. So I will be doing it manually, but I am randomizing it, so I can't just do the like keeping the overalls artificially low while still having solid players or something. We're gonna do completely randomly. Everybody's gonna be leveled completely randomly, and that way we also get a few unique players. Because the thing is, if you do it on auto progression, then after a while all the same archetype players start to look exactly the same. So I want to avoid that. I had that in CFB25 way too much. Then we're going to be playing on Heisman. Obviously, there's no debate about that. It's going to be the Met 10 sliders. Just the regular Heisman Met 10 sliders. And then for roster retention, we are going to be... So the first one is... The portal. I think it was overdone. You're losing way too many players if you don't give any restrictions. So I will actually have the restriction for max players leaving at 30. So because if there's a great coach leaving and they get a new coach and like 50 players don't want to play there anymore because they have a different coach, I think it's realistic that there is a huge exodus. But I will be turning down the probability to 25 or 30. I'm not sure yet. I also have to figure that out in my Nebraska Dynasty, but I think somewhere between 25 and 30 should be a good spot where you lose like 10 players every year or something, and you can try to persuade a couple of them to stay. I think that's a good start. And then we will be redshirting some players, but I'm not gonna like in CFB25 I always redshirted almost everybody. I will not be doing that anymore. I will be redshirting only players that actually like have absolutely no chance of playing and like have definitely like are way too bad to be on the football field. But everybody that comes in and is like on the same level as starters, we will not be redshirting them. Then we're going to use coordinators playbooks. Well, for now we're going to use Penn State on offense and the 4-3 on defense. That's just how it is. But if we get new coordinators, we're going to change the playbooks to whatever the coordinators are running. Next one is going to be scouting. I can only scout players fully that are from level 5 or level 4 pipelines, which in this dynasty level 5 is only the Big Apple pipeline, and level 4 is the New England pipeline, and all the other pipelines are level 3 and lower. So we can only fully scout players from those two pipelines, and all the other players we can like hit the scout button once, and then we have like 40% or like 50-60% or something, which is also good info. And then for recruits, we can only go after players that are either interested in us or are in a level 5 or 4 pipeline, or are at or below our school prestige. So right now we're a 1 prestige school, so we can go after every 1-star we want. But 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars, we can only go after players that are either in a level 5 or 4 pipeline, so the Big Apple or New England, or players that are interested in us. So we can go after 5 and 4 stars, but only if they're interested in us. And then we've got the QB awareness thingy. Yeah, that's something. So audibling, I'm gonna put the rules in the down below, but you can only audible if your quarterback awareness rating is high enough. Everything else, like I have a set of rules there, I just put it down there in the description, but I've got a level system. Like if you're above 90, you can audible to whatever you want. Above 80, you can audible a certain place, but you can't hot rod anymore, stuff like that. Now, this is the top of the roster, and as you can see, everybody's a freshman on this team. And as you can see, from the top 6 players, one's a kicker, one's a punter, and then we have a center, a running back, and the tight end. So the 3 least valuable positions on offense, and 1 edge rusher. That's the top of our roster. So 5 invaluable positions and 1 edge rusher is the top of the roster. But yeah, we're gonna start it off here. 69 overall quarterback Devontae Macklin is the starter in season 1. He wears number 11. He's from Roswell, Georgia. He was interested in coming here, and he has pretty awful accuracies, but he's got 86 throw power, and he's the only quarterback on the roster that actually can run and break some tackles here and there. And the best thing about him is he has star dev, which in this game the dev traits have such a difference. He's the only quarterback that has a star or higher dev on the team. And that is why I'm going to start him over Mitchell Keys. He's also the highest overall, but I think if we start him for 4 years, Devontae Macklin, he's going to be in the high 80s or 90s at the end of his college career. I have a lot of faith, and this offense already, the offensive line is really bad. We have to have some quarterback that can run. And if you look at Mitchell Keys here, he does have some pretty good accuracies, a lot better than Devontae Macklin, but this kid can't run for his life, man. We actually do have a really good running back here. Highest player on the team that is not a specialist. It's Quentin Gooch, 6'4", 194 out of Union City, New Jersey. He's got 86 speed and 90 acceleration. So a decently athletic running back with 83 break tackle. That's pretty good. He can juke some people. His spin's not that great, but he's got a stiff arm. He's got some trucking. He's got everything going for him, and he's basically uncapped, just like, by the way, Devontae Macklin. All the other quarterbacks are pretty heavily capped, but Devontae Macklin has almost no caps, and that's why I'm so excited about Devontae Macklin. And then the backup running back is actually Akeem Cloughy, 6'1", 185 out of Brooklyn, New York. Cloughy has 92 speed, 93 acceleration. He is really fast. He's a true freshman, as opposed to all the other players you have seen so far. And he needs to work a little bit on his actual skills as a running back. Needs a lot of work as a power and an elusive back. He needs to work on his catching. Needs to work on his running back skills. But the athleticism is there. He's gonna get a few carries here and there, and he's also got the playing time deal breaker. Now this kid, Nick Brahms, is pretty solid, but he's going to be a redshirted. I am pretty excited about him. He needs some work as an athlete, definitely. But for this season, he's going to get redshirted. He's just not good enough as an athlete or a running back, so that's why he's too far behind for us to be putting him on the field. Just needs way too much work. He's also, he's just a bottom of the roster running back, but I think he's going to be pretty good. And then an honorable mention, we have a receiving back named Delvin Ramsey, who is going to start as well. He's going to play the passing downs, yeah. And then we've got a fullback here with high star dev, or was it I don't know if it was elite dev or star dev, but he looks pretty fun. He's going to be redshirted as well. We don't really have a fullback, but our best tight end is actually a really good blocker. So I think he's going to be playing fullback for now. And then our number 1 receiver, he's actually our number 2, Tavon Body, 81 speed, 79 acceleration, with catching ratings in the high 70s and 80s. Decent receiver, not much after the catch, to be honest, but he's a decent number 2 option. Here's our actual number 1 receiver, a true freshman with the playing time deal breaker, Earl Dunker, 6'4", 208 out of Ridgely, Maryland. Dunker is a 4-star, physical route runner archetype. He's got 86 speed, 91 excel, and look at the caps, man. He's got basically unlimited potential. The catching ratings are pretty decent from the get-go. He's got some route running ability. He can break some tackles after the catch. Dunker is pretty exciting, and he will be our number 1 receiver this season. Now in the slot, you're gonna see Marcus Stead, 5'11", 180, out of Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Stead is a former 3-star elusive route runner archetype, and he's got pretty good athleticism. He was recruited as a JUCO. Solid hands, solid routes, solid after the catch, break, tackle ability, whatever. A decent slot receiver. And then our number 4 this year is going to be Cam Jean-Pierre with the proximity to home deal breaker, 6'4", 204 out of Cheshire, Connecticut. Jean-Pierre is a gritty possession archetype receiver with, well, way too low speed, but at least he has almost no caps there, but his hands are capped pretty heavily. Route runnings are okay, in an okay place, but he's a number 4. He's not going to see the field much, and he can try to get better and maybe try again next year to get a higher spot on the depth chart. We've got Javier Azur, 6'1", 195 out of Washington, Pennsylvania. Now his speed sadly is capped pretty badly, but he actually at least he has some acceleration, I guess. He's got okay hands, decent route runnings, even though they're pretty capped as well, but he's already at a high level as a route runner there. Now he has the playing style deal breaker, which means we could be losing him next offseason. I don't know, but he's the number 5. Probably not going to see the field much. And then there's 2 more receivers that we are going to redshirt this year. Then we've got Shaq Northrop. Now by overall, he's actually the backup, but he is going to be the starter at tight end. Northrop has very good catching ratings and elite athleticism for a tight end, and he can get even better as a tight end. So there is basically no limit to what he can do. These skill caps are actually not half bad, just the route running one pretty bad. And then this is the highest rated tight end, but he's a pure blocker. Now the speed on Northrop is so high that I decided to make Northrop the starter to actually have a receiving threat there. And Durant is going to be our fullback this year because he is much better developed as a blocker as opposed to the redshirt fullback we have right now. And I think that Durant can do a pretty good job there. And then there is going to be another tight end here, Russ McCourty, 6'4", 229 out of Blairstown, New Jersey. Vertical threat tight end. McCourty has pretty bad route runnings, but a lot of room under the caps. Solid hands, but no room under the caps, and horrible blocking. But McCourty is a pretty fast tight end, you gotta admit. 83 speed, 84 acceleration is pretty good. He will see the field from time to time here. He's the backup basically. And there is definitely some 2 tight end sets as well. Trevor Dennis is going to be the starter at left tackle. This is our biggest weakness there. 6'6", 285. So he's got the size. He needs to fill out the frame. A decent enough run blocker. His pass blocking needs a little work. Not much of an athlete here, but we've got a backup there, redshirted as well. So we'll see next year. We'll have a competition there. But yeah, the best player on the offense, actually second best player on the offensive line is a guard here, Josh Trinidad. Needs a lot of work as a run blocker. The pass protection has I mean, it's not that bad. At least he's got a lot of strength. He's a pretty good athlete. And then yeah, I mean, this dude is going to be a pretty solid blocker, I think, at least against teams that we can win against. And then we've got JJ Olszewski, 6'3", 290 out of Richland, New Jersey, a former 4-star. The only former 4-star we have on the offensive line, actually. And he is the best player on the team, tied with Quentin Gooch, the running back. That is not a specialist. Olszewski is a really good run blocker and a solid pass protector, and I think that he will do a pretty good job at holding down the fort on the inside. We're going to run behind him a lot. Josh Espinoza is going to be the starter at right guard, and Espinoza is a decent run blocker but a horrible pass protector. He's got 82 strength, so that's also not that great. And not that much quickness either. Like, he's not a great athlete, and his skill caps are pretty restrictive, so I think over time he will be replaced. At right tackle, we've got Damon Daly, 6'7", 308 out of Buffalo, New York. A raw strength archetype tackle. So we've got Daly. as a pretty good run blocker with 89 strength as well, but the pass protection is lagging behind, needs to work on that. But at least his pass protection is pretty uncapped, basically. Let's go over to the defense. Ben Clement, he is the true freshman 4-star edge rusher we're gonna start this year. Clement has 65 power moves and 54 finesse moves. So Clement will only start in base personnel. 84 strength is decent. He's got some solid athleticism, but he's an elite level run stopper. 85 block shedding off the bat, right here off the bat with as a true freshman, right? So that's already a crazy good start. But he will be playing only the base downs. Keelan Thomas is his backup and the starter in nickel personnel, nickel and dime personnel. I mean, 79 power moves. I mean, he's a one-trick pony, but at least he can do something as opposed to Clement. So you will see Keelan Thomas out there. And then full-time starter on the other side is going to be Shaquille Hepburn. Also 4-star, but he was already redshirted, so he's got one set of development in him, and he has got 87 finesse moves, 67 power moves. I mean, he's still a one-trick pony, but he's a pretty good athlete, and he has very good finesse moves. The run stopping needs some work. 67 block shedding is not good, but we don't really have a choice because there's just not that many good run stoppers. Now we've got another 4-star here that is also a true freshman, Josh Steed, 6'5", 229. And Steed is a power rusher, but we will be redshirting him because he is not good enough to start. I think that all the other edge rushers have much more going for them than Josh Steed has. And he also has no block, like the block shedding is decent, I guess. It's not better than Hepburn's, and Hepburn is a much better pass rusher than Steed is. So there is really no upside to starting Steed on the line here. So he will be redshirted this year. A true freshman defensive tackle here, already the best player at defensive tackle. Owen Davis is an elite athlete. 70 block shedding is not bad, but he will be only starting in nickel and dime. 82 power moves, 72 finesse moves. He is our best pass rusher on the interior. So Owen Davis, he also has, I think it was elite or star dev. So watch out for Owen Davis. He's gonna be really good. Chad Vohasek, a redshirt freshman defensive tackle. He's a gap specialist. He's a pure run stopper. He's got 90 strength, which is absolutely elite. 73 block shedding. That's not even good, but his power and finesse moves are so bad that we can only start him in base personnel. So he's a pure run stopper and nothing else. Not really hoping for him to break out here, but if he does, good for us, I guess. And then we've got another one of those, Cordell Abram, 6'1", 328 out of Columbia, South Carolina. He's kind of like a sawed-off shotgun. 93 strength is a lot, and he is basically uncapped there. He can get even better. 75 block shedding is pretty decent, but he's a horrible pass rusher. There is no way to, like, he's only starting in base, just like Vohasek. So we've got 2 starters in base and 2 starters in nickel here, because our 4th defensive tackle, Mike Cole, he's a pure pass rusher again. So just split right down the middle there. Vohasek and Abram gonna start on base, and then Owen Davis and Mike Cole are gonna be the pass rushers in nickel and dime. Now, he's not a great pass rusher by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a lot better than everything, than all the other defensive tackles, the run stopper defensive tackles, I mean. So we're going to start him as well, even though he's a true freshman at 66 overall, he's going to see the field. Now, our base linebacker, our base Sam is Eric Creer. Not a great athlete. 79 zone is actually half decent. The run stopping at 82 block shedding is half decent. Can't complain about that. Not much blitzing upside, I'd say. But as a base linebacker, I think he's pretty solid. Like, his run defense is half decent. Now, Nolan Hurley is the starting Mike, but he's only going to be a starting Mike in base because he's not going to be in the field on nickel and dime. He's just not good enough as an athlete. He's not a great pass protector, and he basically has no coverage ability. So just not a great situation there at Mike. We have a backup here, Dexter Lincoln. I think he's a little bit better than the other one, but we're still not going to play him because he's just so far behind in dev. He doesn't have good awareness or play rec. He needs a lot of work as an athlete. He doesn't have much power. His run stopping is decent. I mean, we could play him as a starting Mike, but his pass coverage is absolutely abysmal, so no reason. Instead, you're gonna see David DiNapoli. He's gonna start in base, nickel, and dime. He's gonna play everything, hopefully every down. He's a 4-star true freshman out of Stafford, Virginia. He's our best athlete at the position, and even though his pass coverage is not great, 72 zone, I guess it's decent, but it's specifically the speed and the pass coverage combined that makes him the best sub linebacker we have. He also has really good run stopping ability, and that's why he will be starting 100% of downs. Braden Jones is his backup at will. 6 foot 231 out of Everett, Massachusetts. One of the heavier linebackers we actually have on the roster. He's a former 3-star, and Braden Jones is a pretty good athlete. He's a decent, pretty decent in zone coverage. Block shedding is okay, tackling is okay, nothing spectacular, but Braden Jones will actually be the second sub linebacker in nickel. So you're going to see David DiNapoli in base, nickel, and dime. You're going to see Braden Jones in nickel, and then the other 2 linebackers I showed first, you're going to see them in base. Deacon Root is our only senior on the roster. He's a true senior. He was recruited as a junior, and his man coverage is actually half decent. He's got some solid speed. Just his zone needs a lot of work. He can catch the football a little bit. He's got some ball skills. And Root is gonna be our starting outside corner. Ramon Haddad is gonna be is our only 4-star defensive back. 6'2", 188 out of Brooklyn, New York, so a hometown kid here. And Haddad has pretty solid man coverage, press, and zone as well. Now, the sad thing about him is that he is not a great athlete, and he's capped there. So he's already at the max. He's not going to get any faster, which means he will be our number 2 corner, and in base, he will be the number 2 outside corner. In nickel, he's going to go to the slot. So you're going to see him inside and outside. And then our number 3 is going to be Rashad Lampman, who is going to play the boundary on nickel and dime. So Lampman, you're going to see this kid definitely on the field, and I'm pretty excited about his potential because he has got pretty good caps here. This is not half bad, and he is actually our best linebacker in the second best linebacker, our best athlete in the secondary here, with crazy good speed and acceleration. He's got some zone and man possibilities. It's just not there right now, but he will be seeing the field as well. And then we've got Terrell Sturgis. I'm not going to see much of him. He's a redshirt freshman. Man and press is not great, but the zone is half decent. He's not a great athlete either, which also means that he will only be seeing the field in dime personnel, and he's gonna go to the slot in dime. So we will not be seeing him on the outside with 83 speed. That's just not happening. And then we've got Taylor Lawrence. He is our starting free safety. 5'11", 190, former 3-star. He is a redshirt freshman with decent zone. Man coverage needs a lot of work. Needs some speed upgrades, but at least he has the space. Like, he has got some caps where he can improve. Lawrence should be a decent single high safety. And then we've got Enrique Bryant, a former 2-star coverage specialist out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. 5'11", 182, very light for a safety. He's got 82 zone, that's pretty good, but he's not fast at all. He can't upgrade there either. And he's got basically no run support, no power, and no catching. So the only thing he can do is be a coverage specialist, which is his archetype. And then we've got the true freshman kicker here in Eric Mama. Deal breaker is conference prestige, so we might be looking at a new kicker next year if Eric Mama decides to leave. 93 kick power, that's pretty good. The kick accuracy is at 82, so that's decent. And that's the only thing that matters. So we've got a really good kicker here, and then we got an even better punter. So that's why these two make up the top two of the top 4 players here. Elling is at 92 kick power, but even more kick accuracy, I think, if I recall this correctly. So I think at least the kicking and the punting should be pretty solid this season. Both of them true freshmen. I hope we can have them here for 4-year careers. And of course, if you like this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications for future episodes here. This is just episode 1. We're just getting started here. Now, as I already mentioned, we're going to start it off with the Penn State playbook. It's a power spread. I think this is what this team is designed to do, and we've got the base 4-3 defense. Now, the coach, Alonzo McFadden, his alma mater is Penn State, and that's why we're going to be using the Penn State playbook, and we're going to be using the 4-3 defense playbook because he played for the Eagles in the NFL. And when we had the Eagles franchise, we had a 4-3 defense. We just took it over from when we started that franchise. So we're going to be playing in the 4-3. That's what Alonzo McFadden knows. He was a defensive tackle and a really good one at that, our only good one at that. He was pretty dominant, and I'm pretty excited about having him here as our coach. It also means that we are going to put, if we start a new portion of the head coaching tree, we're going to be putting a lot of that stuff toward the defensive line. Now, I have made him a recruiter. So for now, we're only gonna put those in here, like the 888, the first one of all of them, and then I hope we can unlock the elite recruiter at some point and get it on there with the max hour stuffs. But for now, we actually can't do anything about that. Instead, I have invested a lot of the points that I earned into the motivator tree. I started off with the D-line and then moved on to the O-line. So the offense is almost filled out here. We're going to try to fill out the linebacker and DB spots as well with 3 out of 4. And I think then the motivator portion of the tree is done. So I just need a few more upgrades on the coach level to be getting that done. And then I think we're going to be fine. And yeah. As always, I actually redid the conferences again, just like always. So the ACC is going to represent all the teams in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. And I mean not the state of Maryland, but just the one team, Maryland, out of that state. I sadly had to split Maryland in half because it would have been uneven numbers then. So in the North, we're going to see North Carolina, Duke, the 5 teams from Virginia, and Maryland. So we've got 8 teams in the North, a pretty blown up conference, but this looks like a lot of fun. And then in the ACC Southern Division, we're going to have the rest of the teams out of North Carolina. So that should be about 5 teams here. Wake Forest, Appalachian State, East Carolina, NC State, and Charlotte. And then Coastal, Clemson, and South Carolina are going to make up the rest. So that's another 8 teams here for the ACC South. And then the American is, again, it's all the teams from Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana. So the North is going to be made up out of the teams of Indiana and West Virginia. We also got Kentucky in here as well. But so it's going to be, I think it's 3 Indiana teams, 2 West Virginia teams, and then Kentucky. And the South is going to be 4 Tennessee teams and 2 Kentucky teams. So Louisville and Western Kentucky, all the teams out of Tennessee are going to make up the South here. And yeah, with that, we're going to be switching to the Big 12 then. The Big 12 is made up out of all the teams in Texas and Oklahoma, which is in total 16 teams. The coast is going to be Texas, Texas A&M, Baylor, Houston, UTSA, Rice, I forgot about the other couple, and then the Plains is the 3 Oklahoma teams and everything that's like in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, plus UTEP. The Big 10 is going to be made up out of all the teams out of Ohio, Michigan, And then I put also Notre Dame in there. So Michigan is gonna, like the Northwestern division is gonna be 5 Michigan teams plus Toledo and Notre Dame. And the Southeast is gonna be made up out of all of the rest of the Ohio teams that are not Toledo. So we've got a lot of Ohio teams, man. And yeah, gonna see a lot of Ohio State versus Michigan Big Ten championship games, hopefully. But Notre Dame in there is gonna be a lot of fun as well. Conference USA, this is our conference. It's all the Northeastern teams, and we've got, I think it's 12 teams in total. So when I entered New York State into this dynasty, I actually had to replace them with somebody, and this somebody was actually UConn. So the North now is going to be made up out of 4 teams out of New York. So New York State, we've got Buffalo, Syracuse, and Army. And then the 2 Massachusetts teams in Boston and UMass. Boston College, I mean, obviously. So we've got 6 teams out of New England and the Big Apple. And then the southern half of the conference is going to be the 3 Pennsylvania teams and the other half of Maryland, which is Navy. And then we've got also Rutgers out of New Jersey and Delaware. So the new team there as well. And as you can see, there is a couple of good teams in either conference or in either division. I mean, we've got Penn State and Pittsburgh and Rutgers in this one, so 3 Power 4 teams there. And then the North one, we've got Boston College and Syracuse, and then a couple of smaller teams as well in there. So this one's gonna be fun. We also got some rivalry games lined up here, but we'll talk about more when those rivalry games actually come up. So in the MAC, this is the actual MAC, like the Middle American Conference. So we've got in the Great Lakes division, it's the 3 Illinois teams, the 2 Iowa teams, and Minnesota and Wisconsin. And in the Plains, it's going to be the 2 the 2 Kansas teams, the 2 Missouri teams, the 2 Arkansas teams, and Nebraska. So this is the Plains, the middle of America, literally. And then the Mountain West, we've got the Deserts division, that is the 2 Arizona teams, and then 2 of the 3 Utah teams, and we've got the 2 Nevada teams as well, and Boise State, even though they're not really in a desert, but I had to name this division somewhat. And then we've got the Plains division, that's going to be the 3 Colorado teams, the other Utah team, which is BYU, and then also 2 New Mexico teams and Wyoming. In the Pac-12, we've got, I actually did forget to redo this. I just did the conferences, it was split the conference in half, and then I didn't rearrange the teams, but it was supposed to be the 2 Oregon, the 2 Washington teams, and Stanford and Cal in the north, and then in the south it was supposed to be Hawaii, UCLA, USC, Fresno State, San Diego State, and San Jose State. So I've got to redo this next off season. And then in the SEC, that's actually only the teams from Florida and Georgia. So in the West, we've got 4 Georgia teams, plus USF and Florida State. And in the East, we've got 5 Florida teams, plus Georgia Southern. So yet again, a couple of good teams in each division. And then the Sun Belt set up the same way. It's all the teams from here in the East. It's all the teams from Alabama, which is 6 teams, plus Southern Mississippi. And then in the West, we've got all the teams from Louisiana, which is 5 teams, plus the other 2 Mississippi teams, which is Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And that's how I originally put all the teams together. And then the only thing that didn't really work out is Indiana, with Notre Dame being in one conference and the other 3 Indiana teams being in another one. And then I had to split Maryland in half as well. But this makes a lot more sense to me, and I'm really excited about all these regional battles. So the first game ever for the New York State Skyliners is actually going to be against Temple. So that's going to be our first game ever at home as well in Manhattan here at the West Side Stadium. And then we're going to be facing Texas A&M. I randomized the schedule, so it's going to be Texas A&M for us here in week 3. That is not going to be any fun. They're ranked number 4 in the country. Western Michigan is going to be our next home game, also randomized. So this is going to be at home as well, here in the West Side Stadium in New York City. Western Michigan out of conference. And then we're going to really get into the meat of the schedule here. First game A second game is going to be against Navy at home. Then we're going to travel to Buffalo in the rivalry game here. That's our first rival for this dynasty, Buffalo. That's going to be exciting. And then we're going to be facing UMass at home. We're going to travel to Rutgers. Then we're going to be playing Boston College. That is another rivalry game. The second one we're going to have here in the dynasty, Boston College. And then we're going to travel to Syracuse. That's another rivalry game, so in the dome there, that's going to be fun. And then another out-of-conference game here against Utah State. That's going to be not too fun. And then Army as an away game, and Delaware. That is another rivalry game here. So 4 rivalry games in conference. Delaware, Boston College, Syracuse, and Buffalo. And then we have one more rivalry that is going to be UCLA. I'm gonna talk about that probably next season when we're gonna be putting them on a schedule. I forgot to do it this season, sadly. And yeah, top 25, preseason top 25. Obviously, New York State, nowhere to be found. We're a 1-star program, and I expect us to be losing a lot of games this year. It's not a great team, but it's all freshmen, and next year it's all gonna be sophomore. Everybody's gonna be 5 to 7 overall better, and well, not everybody, but like on average, we're gonna be like 5 overall better. Yeah, and I'm really excited about this team here. I also have selected a really cool stadium. It's got some skyline in the background. It's not a huge skyline. It's not the New York skyline, obviously. Can't get the Manhattan skyline in here, but it's a pretty cool stadium. Pretty cool turf there, and in the background with all the not skyscrapers, but like 10, 12, 20-story buildings or something like that. It's gonna look pretty cool. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more New York State Dynasty. See you in the next episode. Until then, have a great day.